Congressman Louie Gohmert, Republican, Texas,
Yes.
introduced a bill that is the ultimate cancel culture bill.
Yeah.
You won't believe this.
It's about logic. Logical conclusions.
His bill basically cancels the name Democrat Party because, not Democratic, because Democratic is a description of a political system. It's really called the Democrat Party. A lot of people make that mistake. And he's canceling the name Democrat Party because it was the party of slavery.
And Jim Crow and segregation.
And all the bad stuff that happened, right?
Yes, yes.
Pre-Lincoln as well as post-Lincoln.
Yes.
And so his bill, Louie Gohmert, Republican, Texas, this is brilliant. He's basically saying, look, Nancy Pelosi took down 4 portraits of 4 speakers of the House.
All were Democrats.
Recently, because they were all members of the Confederacy.
Yes.
And either owned slaves or supported slavery. And she took down the portraits, but they were all Democrats.
Yes.
So she took down the portraits of Democrats, but she's a Democrat. She's part of that problem. If she really believes in the cancel culture that she's talking about, then let's cancel the Democrat Party. That is basically Louie Gohmert's bill.
Make them change their name.
We have a clip on this. We're going to discuss it shortly, and here is the clip.
That any political organization or party that has ever held a public position that supported slavery or the Confederacy shall either change its name or be barred from participation in the House of Representatives.
So there you go, that any political party that participated in slavery in any way cannot participate in the debate or in the House of Representatives. That would be the Democrat Party.
Yeah. So let's think what is the purpose of this bill? Some people might see this as like a screw the Democrats, but really this is just following their own, logic to its inevitable conclusion. Steadily we're seeing in America canceling, cancel culture and the tacky phrase that it is, but we're seeing it with any statue, any memorial, any phrase, anthem, flag, that stands for anything that people don't like or that has any vestiges in, American history, that, that has to be taken down, it has to be, put away, it has to be changed. And so, this is effectively saying, we want to do it with all these things, but let's take a look in the mirror at one of the political parties that was a prominent supporter of all of these things that we want to cancel. And so we have to cancel it too. Otherwise, from Louie Gohmert's perspective, you're not following, you're not doing all the things that you should be doing then, because this is what cancel culture does. It just keeps going and going and going. It
never ends.
And it never ends.
And so Gohmert's his resolution says, in part, resolved that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, that would be Nancy Pelosi, shall remove any item that named, symbolizes, or mentions any political organization or party that has ever held a public position that supported slavery or the Confederacy from any area within the House wing of the Capitol or any House building, and shall donate such item or symbol to the Library of Congress, Gohmert said. And 2, that any political organization or party that has ever held a public position that supported slavery or the Confederacy shall either change its name or be barred from participation in the House of Representatives. With that, Madam Speaker, I yield back my time.
That was good stuff.
It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, talk about, this is the problem, right? The party of hypocrisy. The party that's out there talking about, it's the party of anarchy, the party of the Confederacy, the party of, and look, there's an article that's out there now that I read recently, and it's called, Modern Day Slavery, talking about how the Democrat Party is enslaving the black communities in the inner cities because of the lack of school choice, which we've talked about many times on this program. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, I just see this party and this movement as, promises they can't keep, or, writing checks they can't cash. And it's, and it's pretty typical. You see these politicians and they make these promises, we're gonna change history to reflect the diversity of the country, and we're gonna take down, monuments and statues that are triggering or cause public harm, and we're going to replace them with the things that we want. But at the same time, this is also the party that doesn't want to take that to its inevitable conclusion, which we're talking about, which Congressman Gohmert recognizes. It's that you have to look at all the all the parts of society that have at some point been corrupted or tainted or have some kind of bad baggage. You can't really cancel all of them. You can only really work and learn from them. And we can have discussions about, certain statues and what to do with them and where to put them. But when you go on this giant crusade, eventually the crusade comes for you, because the bell will toll for all people in the end times anyway.
It's so true.